Broussard. Chris, who impressed you more last night, Giannis or Harden?
Well, Harden was strong. I mean, you mentioned the numbers, which are out of this world. And then in the fourth quarter, in a 2-minute stretch, he scored 12 straight points for the Rockets to cut a 13-point lead down to 3. But I'm more impressed with Giannis because from that point on, the last 2.5 minutes, Harden was 0 for 4 from 3, had a turnover, and Giannis scored 5 points, hit 3 of 4 free throws, and had the tip dunk, the offensive rebound dunk, to seal the game. He shot 11 for 14 from the free throw line, which is obviously good, but he's only a 70% free throw shooter, so I like that from him. And watching these two guys, obviously they're probably right now because of injuries to other guys. LeBron, Kawhi's not playing back-to-back. Steph was hurt. They're probably the two front runners for MVP. I like Giannis more in the playoffs, just looking at the way they play because he scores so much easier. Like he's in the post, he's getting stuff inside, and Harden, shooting those threes can take away your legs. And maybe I don't know if it's nerves or if it's fatigue, but we've seen him struggle late in this, in playoff rounds, in big games. And I think that could be because you're shooting so many threes that your legs can wear out. And it is so difficult. Every time down, he has to create for himself and everybody else. Like, his handle is sweet, but to do that every time down, like to shake up a great defender who's right in front of me, and that can wear you down mentally and physically. So going forward, I think I trust Giannis a little more in the playoffs, and I was more impressed by him last night.
I was more impressed by Giannis also. I thought he was unbelievable. 27 points, 21 rebounds. 5 assists. He only needed 16 field goal attempts, and he was 50% from the floor. And as you mentioned, 11 of 14. Man, look, James Harden is spectacular, Skip. That step-back three, and he can pat the rock, and he can get to the free throw line. But, geez, shooting 30-plus shots. I mean, the guy like, oh, my God, he went off. He had 30. 30. Yeah, sure. But the other night he had shot 35. And a couple of nights ago he shot 38. Well, if you don't get 40 points on 39 shots, you're terrible.
Well, and here's the analytics guys will tell you this. His true shooting percentage, though, is actually not bad because he was 10 for 11 for the free throw line. So you got to the line. And 6 of 16 from 3 is 37%, which is actually better than 50% from 2. I mean, that's how the analytics work. So guys look at that and say, hey, he was efficient.
I ain't in the analytics. I just go by what I see. What I saw was a guy chucking up a lot of shots. You mentioned he went 12 straight. But then, what happened? 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Look, James Harden, he's always going to be because he has the greenest light in the NBA.
So maybe ever. I don't know if I ever seen a green light.
Because I think he came down like 3 straight times and shot step back threes.
Do whatever he wants.
He's always, because his light is so green and because he can get to the free throw line, he's a very good free throw shooter. He's always going to be somewhere around the high 20s, even to the 30s scoring. And because he has to create for everybody, especially since Chris Paul is not there, he's going to have a high assist total. So he's always going to look good in the MVP discussion. But when you really sit back and you look at it, you're like, bruh, can you, pass a few times? But I thought Giannis outplayed him last night, 27-21. I don't get caught up in Giannis. See, sometimes Giannis had 21 rebounds. He's a small forward. He's 6'11". Charles Barkley had 14 rebounds, averaged 14 rebounds at 6'4". Dennis Rodman averaged 17 at 6'8". So you can't get caught up in the position that he plays because these guys now are playing position and they're like Olajuwon.
He's everything. I mean, he's not you wouldn't call him a 2-guard because he can't really shoot jumpers. Right. But he's playing point half the time. He's playing center half the time. He's in the paint.
He's a 4.
He does,
Although they made the point on the Lakers local telecast last night that actually Brandon Ingram is longer than Giannis is. He has a longer wingspan by an inch than Giannis.
Really?
Brandon Ingram is really long, man.
I think
he doesn't use it as effectively.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
I think he need to eat a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you could.
He looks thin on TV.
Yeah.
When you look thin on TV, you know.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
That is hard to do.
He also looks sinewy to me, like he's got good musculature for his length. He does. He does. So I got to give you props first because you said, I don't know, a month, 6 weeks ago on this show, beware of Milwaukee. You thought they were going to be a factor and a force in the East, and they're better than I thought they were going to be because they're 29-11 now. And the player who impressed me the most on the court last night was Malcolm Brogdon because he just he did things where on both ends of the floor because he's guarding James most of the time. James, this was a classic James Harden night. And if we want to do if we want to do Freak versus Harden, in the end, my takeaway, I was more impressed with James, even though that happened at the end of the game. But he had an off night and scored 42 points. He had a hellacious good defender right up in his grill the whole game, not the whole game, but many possession. And it got
Bledsoe, too.
And Bledsoe, well, back and forth, but Bledsoe's not tall enough to bother the three. Brogdon is. And it's funny because our guy Austin Rivers has now become his running mate. Because remember, James is having to do this with no CP3 and no Eric Gordon, so he's going solo.
Yep.
And now Austin's sort of the stand-in right now. And when Austin gets the ball in the wing, he just says, "No, I'm gonna you do it, you do it. I'm gonna give it back to you." And Harden's like getting gassed, like, "No, you do it."
They won't even bring the ball up the court. They get the rebound, and here, James, take it. Can y'all just bring the ball up the court to get the guy a break?
No, it's unbelievable.
Hey, and speaking of unbelievable, James Harden is unbelievable from the free throw line. That is not that easy to do. He's now 85% for the year. He's 85% career. He was 10 of 11 last night. He gets the calls, but he takes full advantage of it. He just does.
He does.
And he had 11 rebounds. That's just not that easy to do.
Yeah, a lot in the fourth, too.
Okay, well, he got a lot. And he always has 8, 9, it's just going to happen because that's who he is. That's how he plays.
Yeah.
But he lives and he dies from the three-point line. In the end, when you break it all down, that's who he is. He is a step-back three-point shooter. That's how he is going to shoot you out of the building or shoot you back into the game. So he's got Brogdon all up in him, and he tries 4 highly contested threes down in the last 2 minutes, and he missed all 4 of them. And they weren't really close, but they were highly contested. You can do that to him. And again, whatever that clutch gene is, I'm not sure he has it at the highest level. So to your point, I still haven't seen enough of Greek Freak in the playoffs to say, oh, I really trust him. I'm not sure I trust either one of them, but I've never really trusted James. He has too many flame-out games.
Do you think it's nerves in the playoffs?
Maybe.
Or is it fatigue?
I don't know.
It only happens, it seems like it only happens in game 6 or 7.
Okay, well,
you know what I mean? So that would tell you nerves.
He was defending him a little bit off the game 6 flame out against the Spurs, but then Van Gundy concluded he just had a bad game. You can't say he was.
He wasn't shooting though. That was the thing. It's one thing if you go 4 for 20 like Kuzma.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot as many shots, especially in the first half. It looked like nerves to me. But one thing Harden does is he shows you, and this is for these young kids out here wanting to play, he reminds you this is a game of skill. Like, he's not incredibly athletic. Obviously, he's got some degree.
That's true.
But think about Magic Johnson. He wasn't like the most athletic guy. Larry Bird wasn't the most athletic. It's a game of It's a game of skill. Post Jordan, everybody began thinking it's all athleticism because Mike was so athletic.
Could play above the rim.
Right, but it's skill. Steph Curry shows that. So if you work on that, Harden it's incredible.
I mean, nobody can pat the ball and get the shot up like he can.
Yep.
I mean, it's everything is 20 legs,
and you know defenders know what you know his moves, you study his film.
But sometimes he's stepping back to the side, sometimes he's stepping straight back.
Yep.
And Steph Curry's like, hold on. Now, y'all ref a guy every night.
It is.
I ain't calling no name.
His quickness is subtle and
Yes,
it's effortless.
he's got some quickness.
It doesn't even look like he's trying to be quick, but he's out quicking you everywhere.
But you know what, Skip? He's left-handed.
It hurts.
All the top players are normally right-handed.
Yeah.
So it's like a tennis player that's left-handed. So you like, oh, y'all put the block. No, you're not.
It's good to be a lefty. That's me.
Oh,
look at
ninja.
that was your secret?
It was my secret. Left-handed.
Ninja Jenny today.
Ninja Jenny. Watch out. Let's see if he can continue his streak, too. At least 30 points in 14 straight games.
He tied
14
T-Mac.
straight games.
T-Mac in 2003.
Yeah, so 2003,
Only
right. We'll see if we can keep it going.
Kobe more? Kobe had more.
Well, 03. Did Kobe do it before?
No,
that?
This is just, 03 is the last record.
McGrady.
Yeah, McGrady. Well, it's the lefties. We'll leave it at that. Chris, thanks for joining us. Good to have you. We'll